Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, what? My voice is absolutely shot this morning. It was getting shot last night. Really weird. It was a bit of a funny night last night. Karaoke didn't look like it was going to get off the ground, to be quite honest. We were very busy with people. People just seemed to be sat happy, chatting away, watching the videos, basically. But when it came to people wanting to actually get up and sing or do anything, nobody wanted to do nothing. Dennis started to get a bit twitchy, shall we say. So I started singing badly. I've got to be honest. My voice at the moment, as you can hear, is completely shot at the moment. So anyway, God knows how many songs I sung badly, but people stayed anyway. And I think some people felt sorry for me. And then the tickets started to come in. And when they started to come in, they started to come in. It ended up like a bookie's betting office with slips everywhere. Can I say thank you to the Dutch last night? The amount of singers from their nation and the amount of Dutch karaoke that we did last night was absolutely quite awesome, actually. And I could see all these English sort of sat back or British sat back going, that's interesting. Because their kind of music is kind of what I would call rather folky. It's sort of music that you would sing at après ski in some respects of it. But anyway, it all seemed to work. People seemed to be happy. We were really, really busy. Again, what more can you do? But anyway, I paid the penalty this morning. My voice is shot to hell. The lovely Jane this morning, hot tea with honey and lemon. That's what I'll be on today. But anyway, looking at the weather today, clear blue skies. Once again, thank you to Amanda. She says today is going to be about 32. It's going to feel like 38. I thought yesterday was really, really hot yesterday. Jane and I were in Sillery yesterday afternoon because Jane managed to get us like half a day off. And so we at the Piscino pool yesterday. Absolutely, I hadn't seen that place as busy as what it was, but it was good to see they were busy as well yesterday. But anyway, we're still in Cat 4 fire risk. So once again, please be very careful where you go, what you do. Don't go into out of bounds areas, especially after 6 o'clock at night. Anywhere that's cordoned off, stay out of it because fires at the moment are back on the go here in Greece. I'll cover that in the news. But on the whole, just be very, very careful with your barbecues, your lighted cigarette ends. Also, as well, if you go out picnicking somewhere, just watch out for magnification effects from glass on the ground, etc. Just be very, very careful because, again, it is still like a tinderbox. And Zakynthos at the moment, fire-wise, we've been doing a lot better than a lot of other areas at the moment. And let's make sure that it stays that way. Right, going to go in the house because I'm set up there because, again, I've got to rush into town again, sort out me bike again. Let's just flick the screens around at the moment. There I am. Right, okay. Let's just quickly look at the flights in today. Believe it or not, we've got 10 more flights in from the UK today. We've got 3 from London. We've got 1 from Manchester, 1 from Birmingham, 1 from Newcastle, 1 from Bristol, 1 from Leeds. And we've also got 1 in from Scotland, from Glasgow as well. When it comes to COVID at the moment in Greece seems to be on the up again. And quite on the up as well for new infections across the country. Yesterday, you may remember, it was 2,218. Today, it's 4,026. That brings the total now to 543,749 since the pandemic started. 21 new cases were detected into the country at various ports of entry. That was up on the 7 of the day before. And then when we come to islands of interest, as I like to call them, first of all, Mykonos has had 29 new infections. Rhodes has had 150 new infections. Lefkada has had 17 new infections. Corfu has had 66 new infections, and they're still not in the red at the moment. Kefalonia has had 12. And guess what? Zakynthos, in the last 24 hours, we've had 25 new infections here on the island. And when you consider the day before that, we'd had 8. And the day before that, we'd had 22. And the day before that, we'd had 10. The day before that, we'd had 20. And the day before that, we'd had 10. So to have 25 from 8 is quite an increase at the moment. Looking at deaths across the country, deaths have crept up as well. 13 deaths I reported last time. New deaths in the last 24 hours, 16 new deaths across the country, bringing the death toll now to 13,253. And again, 96% of those had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70. When it comes to incubations now, they are now starting to creep up as well. 250 on the previous report. 258 within the last 24 hours. That's 158 male and 100 female patients in ICUs at the moment. Anyway, the one story which I'm pleased to say is a big story at the moment here on Zakynthos is the young woman that was being treated in the last few days over in Rio. She had coronavirus and she was pregnant, 7 months pregnant. It seems that the lady yesterday delivered a little boy weighing 1,600 grams. I haven't even worked out what that is in pounds, all right, for those people that like it in the old money. But anyway, the 32-year-old woman, she'd shown signs of deterioration, and doctors decided yesterday that they had to immediately perform a C-section on her. The lady, after the delivery was done, she was then incubated as well, so that now she's in an enforced coma. The young mother is suffering from coronavirus, and her doctors administered oxygen with a mask. The sole purpose was basically taking the baby out as quickly as possible. She was 7 months pregnant, and at the moment, the child is doing all right. The child is actually in an incubator at the moment and is doing all right. However, the mother is still, shall we say, in the woods at the moment and is now being incubated. And we'll keep an eye on that story, and let's just hope both mother and baby pull through and do all right. Going back to the fires then, hundreds of firefighters in Greece, backed by more than 30 water-dropping planes, gained ground yesterday against a large forest fire, which was burning for the second day in the northwest area of Athens. It meant that some nursing homes and several villages in that area of Athens had to be evacuated. The dense blaze, which was in the forest area of Villa, shortly started. Another wildfire then broke out in the southeast area of the Greek capital, in the Kathiya area. The two were the most severe among dozens of wildfires that erupted across the region at that during the day yesterday. That was the message from the Greek fire department this morning. Anyway, Greece's Minister for Public Order, Michaelis Christodoulos, he said on Tuesday that the situation at Villa was improving despite the number of flare-ups, and that the Kathiya blaze had also been contained. Now, hundreds of wildfires had burned across Greece this month, fueled by the country's most severe heat wave in decades. Intense heat and wildfires have also struck other Mediterranean countries, including France. They were battling a forest fire along the French Riviera on Tuesday. There were recent wildfires have killed at least 75 people in Algeria, and 16 people have also been killed in Turkey, which is actually worsening through drought. And the heat has also fueled wildfires in the United States. And I'm really surprised that I've not seen anything about the wildfires in the media in America at the moment at all, because I look at all areas for news. Nothing has been mentioned. It's all Afghanistan. And also Russia as well. They're having big fires in the northern Siberia region as well. So Greece is just part of this big fuel of fires that are cutting across everywhere. Anyway, Greece's fire department said that 370 firefighters with 115 vehicles were fighting the fire at Villa. On Tuesday, they were supported by 20 water bombing planes, 12 helicopters, and that the Katharia fire had devoured an estimated 5,000 hectares, which is about 12,400 acres of forest and farmland, but mostly in the Villa area. Now, firefighters were also trying to secure the boundaries of a major blaze in the national park north of Athens, and on the Greek island of Eva. That fire is still burning at the moment. They've got 40 Austrian firefighters there who are fighting two major fires in southern Greece, in the Peloponnese as well. And that's just across the road from Zakynthos here, as you look towards Kyllini. Anyway, arson has been suspected as the case of some fires, and on Tuesday, police announced that they had arrested two people on suspicion of setting two fires, both of which were quickly extinguished. The first was a 54-year-old man who allegedly set papers and dry vegetation alight on Sunday near a village west of Athens. And the second case actually involved a 29-year-old foreign woman whose nationality was not released. She's accused of setting dry leaves alight in a square in Athens. Anyway, climate scientists, meanwhile, say there's little doubt that climate change from the burning of coal, oil and natural gas is driving more extreme events such as heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods and storms. But then again, on top of that, you've got arson, and it's a mixture. And obviously, we're going to wait and see how things progress there. Now, as I said, everything at the moment in the mainstream media is Afghanistan, Afghanistan, Afghanistan. This obviously is going to affect Greece. And Greece does not want to become the entry point into Europe, into the European Union for migrants fleeing from the conflict of their homeland. Now, the migration minister, the Greek migration minister, Notis Matika, said on Tuesday, calling for a common EU response to the crisis. He said Greece was on the front line of Europe's migration crisis in 2015, with nearly 1 million people fleeing conflict in Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan being landed on its islands. And like other EU member states, it is nervous that developments in Afghanistan could trigger a replay of that crisis. Now, Mitsotakis, the Prime Minister here, told television, saying, "We are clearly saying that we will not and cannot be the gateway of Europe for refugees and migrants who could try to come to the European Union." He said, "We cannot have millions of people leaving Afghanistan and coming to the European Union, and certainly not through Greece," he said. EU foreign ministers will hold a crisis meeting today. We're holding a crisis meeting yesterday to discuss the fall of Afghanistan to the Taliban and Greece. And they have also requested that an issue is also discussed at a meeting of the EU Home Affairs ministers on Wednesday today. Anyway, the solution needs to be common, and it needs to be a European solution, Mitsotakis said. Unity between EU member states over whether to deport failed Afghan asylum seekers crumbled last week. Right, my view on this is this. I think it's every man for himself nationwide. It's very sad what has gone on in Afghanistan. And I think now Turkey has to stand up to this. Pakistan definitely. Pakistan helped the insurgents all the way through the involvement of what was going on in Afghanistan and Iraq. If you remember, Osama bin Laden was actually found in Pakistan at the end of the day, not in the mountains of Afghanistan. So I think Pakistan has to take some of the responsibility for what's going on in Afghanistan. And if I was a part of the UN, or if I was bloody Biden, who has been an absolute cluster of the first degree, an absolute disgrace as a president, I've never seen such cowardice when he announced that they were pulling out of Afghanistan and wouldn't take any comment from any of the reporters, turned his back and walked away. I've got to be honest, I bet you Trump would have answered questions, because I tell you what, Trump certainly stood up to some of these nations a lot better than the way that the Democratic Party in America has stood up to what has gone on. So I hope any money or aid that goes to Pakistan is going to be very severely curtailed, because they've had a hand in this in the back doorway by trying to play both sides off. And again, you reap what you sow. I feel sorry for those people that are stuck and have left behind. But at the end of the day, didn't we learn anything from the Russian occupation in the 1980s to what has gone on in the 1990s to the 2000s now? 20 years we have been in that region. And then we had the other big cluster of going into Iraq. And it has been a making of our own. The money that's been wasted, the lives that have been wasted, and the get out was an absolute disgrace. And the fact was, there they were just a week ago going, oh, it won't happen. It won't crumble as quickly. The Afghan army will they put up nothing. After all the money, the lives wasted, I feel sorry for servicemen whose families lost loved ones in what was a cause that was unwinnable, in the same way Vietnam was unwinnable. And at least the pullout in Vietnam was more coordinated, chaotic as it was, to the farce that has gone on in Afghanistan at the moment. And what annoyed me more than anything else was that stupid dickhead kid on TikTok who decided that he wanted to go to Afghanistan on a holiday. Do you know what? I would have left him there, because there was probably somebody more deserving to get on that flight out. And there he is showing off his ticket. He'd been posing pictures of him in Afghanistan with military equipment on and military weapons, etc. And I don't think he deserved to be allowed back into the country. But guess what? Somebody put their life at risk to find the little tow rag, stick him on that plane and get him out. And I think he's a disgrace, that kid. And I don't care what you think, young man. You need your arse severely kicking, and your parents do as well, for what you have put other people through for your stupid maturity, oh, I tell you what, it angers me that there were lads who went out there to do a job. They came home in a box, and you, at the expense of the British taxpayer and of other people's lives, you get a flight back when there was probably an Afghan interpreter who put his life on the line, who deserved that seat on that aeroplane more than what you did. I would love to see you, young man, because I'd like to put your face into the shit that you have created. Anyway, that's my rant for today there. Right, and finally, just to let you know, universities of Athens are now being ranked at the top 400 in the Shanghai ranking system, and it makes me wonder who is working on the Shanghai ranking system. But anyway, universities here in Greece, such as the Aristotle University in Thessaloniki, the University of Crete as well, and the University of Thessalia, they have all scored exceptionally well in the top 400 universities in the world in the Shanghai ratings. Right, that's it from me. Can I just say thank you to all those people that are tuned in at the moment. I've got to get back into town. I've got jobs to do, and I've also got to sort stuff out ready for tonight as well. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Can I say thank you to the lovely lady who came to me yesterday? She said she came from York. She said, I absolutely love your podcast. I really do. They've kept me sane throughout the lockdowns and everything else. I absolutely love your cats, she said. And she knew all their names and everything else. But can I just say thank you again for coming to me last night and just saying how much you appreciated the broadcast. Anyway, I could see lots of people leaving comments. I haven't got time to go through them, but can I just say thank you, and I will keep my ear to the ground. If I hear of anything, I'll let you know, and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.